Oh, y'all, do we have one heck of a show for this Friday night to wrap up the entire thing? Because it turns out all the propaganda that you've been force fed through a funnel is slowly destroying from underneath because the foundation was built on what do we call those things? Oh, yes, lies. Everything that I'm going to walk you through is a little bit spicy. We've got everything in this episode. We've got the appetizer to mock relentlessly our political opponents. We've got some spicy stuff later on. We've got some really great, amazing things. We've got Senator Kennedy, who's always good. Guys, this is going to be a great show. Watch out, Sean Hannity. We're coming for you on this live stream. All right, listen. Everything that I've got for you is going to be linked in the description box below. I always bring the receipts, and make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Guys, some stuff is dropping right now that you guys need to be aware of, and I look forward to being the one to tell you about it. All right, comments, chats, emojis, make the world go round per usual. As you guys get in here, make sure audio and video is good, and we should be ready to rock. You guys are showing up. I love it. I hope you guys got notifications because this is going to be a good one. All right, chats, comments, emojis. Oops, can't type anymore. And shares. And shares make the world go round. And you guys know how this works. Once I pin it, it is on and go time. All right, here we go. It's in. Now we're going to pin it. Boom, we're off to the races. All right, guys, we've got audio, we've got video. Please be involved because this is the fight for your country and you're being propagandized at every frickin' turn. And I am going to literally throw holy water on it and make it evaporate. All right, here we go. That is my mission because nothing makes me angrier than when they lie straight to y'all's faces. It just pisses me off. All right, here we go. This is a Joe Rogan clip, and I'm going to play this because it's so incredibly amazing. And I'll probably, whatever, we'll figure what happens. YouTube can be like this sometimes. It's all about the woke mind virus and how it's a religious cult. Yeah. All right, you know what, Joe? You do this. If this isn't an appetizer to get us going, I don't know what is. This is going to be amazing. Let me hear you in the comments, chats, emojis. Let's get it.
You can never be woke enough because it's all horseshit. It's all horseshit. It's just a cult. It's a cult that is mostly perpetrated by people that don't have a religion. So it behaves like a religion.
Yeah.
You can get excommunicated. You can get cast out of the kingdom for life. There's rules. If you follow those rules, you'll be good. If you're not, you're a heretic.
Yeah.
It's a religion. And it's a religion for people that don't have a religion. Because there's a fucking weird part of our brain that whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, it fits that spot.
Right.
So there's if you don't have something in your life that you think of as a higher power, or at least have like some sort of ethical and moral foundation and some goal, some higher goal that you ascribe to, something will fill that spot. There's a spot in your brain, and that spot will be I'm a Republican, or that spot will be I'm a liberal. And we got these goddamn racists and all these white people. We got to get rid of white people. White people say that. We got the real problem is white people. They'll say that, and they'll pat themselves on the back while they're saying it because they think they're being a good wokester.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is that not perfect? It is a religion. They do have the fervor of religion. There is an excising the demon element to it. There is an absolute excommunication from the woke church. Are you good on these virtue signals? Have you read the 95 Theses of Wokeism? Yeah. See, I'm educated. Yeah. Wow. How accurate is that? All right, I got a super chat right over here. Mike U for a $1.99 says, time to get spicy. Fear not, Mike. It might come in a moment, but let me tell you something, guys. We are under the knife of the notifications over the last few days. The system went through an update. Something happened, but I'm telling you, we are under that blade. So any of the sharing you guys can do, comments, emojis, chats, all of it, helps immensely because, whoa. All right, let's keep on going. There is so much to talk about. We are going to save our country step by step. Oh my goodness. Let's find the sarcasm switch. Turn that bad boy on. Here we go. You guys ready? This is weird. This is trending on X. You see this? This can't be a case. Let me zoom in for you guys. Democrats hold, what's that word right there? Narrow lead? I was told it was over. Weren't you guys told it was over? I thought it was over. Oh my goodness. Look, here comes the sarcasm again. The 2026 generic ballot. You remember the generic ballot, that thing that they said was plus 14 for Democrats like 3.5 weeks ago, and you were supposed to give up and be demoralized? Well, now it's 1 point difference. And remember, this is skewed in Democrat favor by about 3 points. Isn't that odd, weird, strange, and nefarious? It's almost like it's all bullshit. This is why I cover these things for you, because they aren't going to tell you this on the media. And don't worry, they are fully going out there on the X accounts and profiles. They're not talking about this up here anymore. No, that's way too close. So what are they doing? They're cherry picking this right here. Well, yeah, sure, the generic ballot is real close, but the 18 to 49 is D plus 11. You guys are pathetic. And I'm going to say it. And I'm just going to freaking say it. Look, and this is what's interesting about this. Another super chat real quick. Fred Samuel with a $5 super chat says, anytime you upset the left, notifications go to crap. I'm going to be honest with you. That's not wrong. Like, I must be doing something. Well, apparently that window is like right at 700,000 subs. Once you get to that window, it's like, whoa, this is a little uncomfortable. Anyway, we're going to keep on doing it. Thank you guys for your tutelage and your support. All right. This is so interesting. Again, guys, because that sarcasm switch back on. Come on, get it up there. Which party has a better policy according to the exact same congressional ballot polling, which is 1 point different? Crime is Republican 18. Wow. Immigration, Republican 13. Well, hold the phone a second. Y'all, I could have sworn that we did multiple videos this week about how bad the Latin vote and everyone does not like the Republicans because of immigration and ICE activities and the removal of 2.5 million people who are here illegally in the last 11 months, which has driven down the consumption and the demand across the board, which is reflecting in housing prices, rent prices, grocery prices, gas prices, electrical prices, car prices. I could have sworn they said that was the reason. Yeah, they did. Because they're trying to manipulate you emotionally and get you to throw your hands up in the air and surrender, which you're not going to do, which is why I do the videos that I do. Economy, R plus 8. How could this be? Affordability. Didn't we talk about this? Goodness gracious. Affordability and cost of living is +1 for Team Democrat? How could they only be +1, but Republicans are +8 on economy? Doesn't this seem kind of weird? Democratic values, +11, score. Healthcare, Democrat +14, no kidding, give me free goodies, duh. But it's kind of weird though, I don't know, maybe I need to zoom in. Maybe I'm just making, this is some kind of optical illusion. Well, no, it's the same. It's the same. Are you guys tired of being lied to yet? Because honest to God, something is happening right now, and you're about to see some really incredible things. That's my own little gut feeling. But anyway, let's continue on our merry little way. I told you we were going to have fun this episode, so as we get in here, here's another piece of the exact same thing. Would you look at that? I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on this one. Wow. That's what a difference a week makes. Just going to stare at it a little bit longer. Maybe it'll change. Democratic candidate 40%, Republican candidate 39%. Yeah, we should probably talk about the whole demographic breakdown of 18 to 20 or 18 to 49 who doesn't like them, because this is uncomfortable. I'm just gonna leave it up. You know, it's weird how fast the propaganda falls apart when you actually study it, isn't it? I tell you what, you guys are on it though, because you knew the whole time. It's what they do. All right, here we go. Here's something the GOP is getting on board with. This is actually smart, so go team. The American people trust President Trump and the Republicans to deliver on key issues. My God, they're seizing on that polling. Good. Let's freaking go. More of this. But remember, 3 weeks ago, it was 14 plus for Team Democrat, but all of a sudden now it's +1. I don't know. I don't know what happened. That is weird. Oh, let's keep on going though. Let's have some fun. So now let's talk about this pivot. And before I show you this, I got so much stuff. We're going to get spicy. We're going to go all over the map. It's going to be great. We got tons of tabs of freedom. If you guys are just now in here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, chats, comments, emojis, make the world go round. Thank you guys for all of them. I see the emojis flying over here. And by the way, whenever I turn that sarcasm button on, you guys seem to really like it. So just let me know if you're still digging. All right. This I find truly fascinating. And I'm going to get to it in a second. But there's a pivot that's happening in the White House. There is, actively. I've highlighted it a few different times, and I'm going to highlight it even more. And the reason why is simply because you're simply being gaslit, propagandized, weaponized of media, and lied to. Because apparently, everything is horrible. everything, it's just awful. You got to go eat dirt. I'm about to show you in a second how CNN's having to be forced to report on low gas prices in swing states. But this one right here, I find this really interesting. Working Americans will soon get very large refunds of up to $2,000 per household. Now, this is really important because the left is out there jumping on this real quick and saying, oh, I thought MAGA didn't like socialist. Oh, I despise socialist. However, this is not socialism. This is a tax refund, giving the money from the individual government, which took it through taxation, back to the individuals, which is a system that has been in place consistently for a while now. That's not socialist redistribution of wealth. That's taking away from a bloated government and giving it back to the people of which it took taxes from. That's actually extremely conservative. Just saying. The more money that people are going to have in their pockets, the more they're going to be able to feel the relief of what they've been talking about. Again, it's been 11 months. Oh, I've got more. Come on, let's keep on going. Get along with this ride. Again, this is, I just don't want you guys to be lied to. That's my biggest thing. I don't want you guys to fall for all this bull, because the last time I saw propaganda this bad was in the Biden-Harris administration on the way into the Harris nomination. It was insanity. We're starting to see that same thing because, guys, honest to God, and the sarcasm button's off right now. If the Democrats lose the House in 2026, they are effectively a DOA party. They know it too. I've already shown you multiple videos and multiple clips of the Governors Association saying that we better get some power before 2030 because that's when the census changes and we're screwed. They know. So the only option they have is to lie to you and blow things out of proportion and hide and obfuscate certain facts but highlight others. It's all about perception. And that's why I try to do the things that I do, because every one of our individual rights and everything that we care about on an individual micro basis is coming off of this macro fight right here. And that's why I try to do what I do. All right, listen, John Kennedy. Is that John Kennedy? It's not John Kennedy. Yeah, it is John Kennedy. Senator John Kennedy. Listen to what John Kennedy says. He does something in his own special way. This is a senator from Louisiana. Listen to this. Let me hear you in the comments of the chats. Take it away, John.
Through reconciliation, which is how we passed the one big beautiful bill, we can pass these measures to increase wages for the American people with a majority vote. We won't need Democratic votes. That's what we did with the one big beautiful bill.
And if you are not familiar with what he's talking about through reconciliation, and you're one of the new people that got in here, just let me give you a brief summation for all you veterans. Hold on a second. If you're just now new here and what he's talking about is reconciliation is a process in the Senate that allows it to circumvent the filibuster, which is 60 votes, and you can get a simple majority, which is 50 plus 1, that includes the vice president. Okay? Vice president is J.D. Vance. He's the president of the Senate. So reconciliation is a way around the filibuster because it only has to do with budgetary items. That's what he's talking about. Throw in these budgetary items, do another reconciliation bill. We don't need Democrats. Good talk. This is the first time that you're hearing on the Senate floor something about reconciliation 2.0, part 2. Okay? This is important stuff. Let's let him keep going. Thank you for your patience. Hold on.
And we can do it 2 more times for the midterm elections. We passed the one big beautiful bill on July 1. In the meantime, I'm not saying we hadn't been doing important things, but we hadn't been working on a plan to help people deal with the cost of living, and we should be. So I'm going to end like I ended last time. I'm saying to the powers that be, pretty please, with sugar on top, I'll add a cherry. I've even got an old McDonald's McRibs coupon somewhere. I'll throw that in the mix too. Please bring another reconciliation bill. Please. Let's deal with the problems that are causing moms and dads to lie awake when they lie down to sleep at night and can't.
All right, that man is a national treasure. I don't care what anyone says. This guy is one of my favorite people to cover in the world because you just don't know what he's going to do. Personal favorite was when he told Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer to go to Amazon and buy a pair of balls and have it shipped prime. That was the best thing I've ever seen. Okay, let's keep on going, though, because here's the point. They're talking about going through reconciliation again. Good, pretty please, sugar on top, even a coupon for a McRib. Phenomenal. Oh, my God, let's do that. So, and this is the big point. This is the pivot that I'm talking about. This is what they actively see. I know everyone's not perfectly happy. I'm very aware, right? But when you're talking about this on the floor of the Senate, we need to do something for the everyday American people. When you see this right over here, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Right over here, $2,000 tax refund going to the American people. When you see all of these things that are starting to pop up, they are starting to pivot. I'm going to go through all of this in a second because CNN's, again, forced to say something about gas prices. That's going to come into play in a second with all the immigration issues. Again, that horrible immigration thing that everyone hates the Donald Trump administration for, except he's +8 on in polling. Awkward. All right. This one, I just want to highlight these things because no one's going to tell you this until CNN gets forced to do it. But anyway, watch this. Wow. It's just been reported that the U.S. home prices have gone down for the first time in over 2 years, declining 1.4% in the past 3 months per CNBC. The experts informed me this was impossible under Donald Trump. All right, so we're going to go big real quick, and I'm just going to have a real frank conversation with you. You got housing, or excuse me, homes. You have rents from rental apartments. You have gas. You have energy. You have grocery pricing starting, nowhere near where it needs to be, starting. You have 2.5 to 2.2 million people who have been removed from this country because they were illegal immigrants who are putting a downward pressure on the actual pricing of consumable goods like housing, like groceries, like gas. You are actively seeing less demand in an economy for goods, therefore the prices are falling. It is that simple. And all of this talk about immigration being unrelated and ICE being unrelated and all of these policies and inflation's going up and everything is horrible, that's actively the opposite of reality. All of these things are blended together, and I'm aiming to show you these things in an objective manner. Everything I've got is linked in the description box below. You can follow it, you can share it, you can check it, you can give me feedback in the comments. I want you guys to be empowered to go find this stuff. But literally, it's all right here. It is actively happening. There's another report. Home pricing, lowest in 2 years. How about this one? Some CNN clips. Guys, don't worry, we're about to get real feisty. We're gonna have some fun at CNN's expense, and then we're gonna get a little bit of a poke back and forth with some stuff going on. Democrats are panicked. I can't verify that, but Eric said that's the case. CNN was just forced to air Americans heaping praise on President Trump's economy. Since Trump's been in, the gas is going down. Everything's getting better. He's deporting all these criminals. I think it's great. I think he ought to run again if he could. Well, he can't. But the J.D. Vance guy, he can. Here's the thing. And again, this is not a propaganda puff piece. This is not my account. This is not my reporting. This is not from the Second Press, my entity. This is not from Katie, my employee. This is not from any of my channels or my footprint. This is from frickin' CNN. Okay? Watch what CNN says. And by the way, I'm loving the emojis, the chats, the comments. Let's freaking go, baby. The more you guys get engaged, the more you overcome those pesky notifications of which people are literally saying right now, no notifications all friggin' week. And I can confirm that on my videos. So let's watch CNN have a bit of a moment in something called the Redneck Christmas Parade, which I don't know what it is, but it seems like I want to be there. Don't do that. Don't do that. I really want it. I played that up. I really played that up. Don't do that. Come on, X. Let's not be that guy. No one likes that guy. Hold on. We're going to replay this.
Right now, with the gas prices coming down lower, it should transfer over to food prices and other items eventually. And I'm loving it.
Since Trump's been in, the gas is going down, everything's getting better, and he's deporting all these criminals that come over from other countries. I think it's great. I think he ought to run again, if he could.
If he could.
Well, maybe his Vice President Vance would get in there and run.
So, okay, if he doesn't come through on all his promises, then why do you still like him?
'Cause I think he's honest.
Okay.
You know, he's got all these people against him trying to put him out.
Y'all, the rednecks freaking get it. Okay, I gotta change that. That's gonna give someone a stroke. The rednecks freaking get it. And by the way, I can say that. I consider myself one. But genuinely, sometimes these clips, I don't even know where to go perfectly right in the order. Let's just start with the most obvious one. You know the reason Trump is bulletproof? Honest to God, in my opinion, you guys can jump over here in the comments and the chats. It's not because he's wealthy, and it's not because he's rich, and it's not because he's white, and it's not because he's this, that, and the other. The reason why is because American people have a bullshit meter that is really pretty good, and Donald Trump is so real that it's just simply refreshing. when someone's being an asshat, he calls them an asshat. And everyone's like, that's a good point. That guy was being an asshat. He's like that guy in the bar or at the country club, or he's the guy on the golf course, or he's the guy in the shooting range, the fishing, wherever. He's the guy who just calls a spade and everyone loves him. That's what he is. That's the reason why. That's the only reason why they say they can trust him. And by the way, you want to make liberals' heads explode? Show them that clip. But now the other part. Because again, the rednecks get it. And again, I own that moniker so I can say it. When you are talking about all the different pieces of this, gas goes down, that translates to everything else, and immigration is down, less people consuming goods, prices go down. Y'all, if CNN has to air this, again, that was at a redneck Christmas parade. I'm down with this. All right, let's keep on going, man. I'm going to give a stroke. Yeah, we already did that one. Let's keep on going. Is this the next one I think we're going to do? Hold on. I don't know. This is a fun one. This is a good one. So I find this is, I love the pivot. I tell you they're pivoting. Breaking. 91% of Americans have noticed a drop in gas prices since President Trump took office, per White House survey. 91% have noticed gas prices? Maybe because they're at the record low for the last 5 years. I don't know. But anyway, let's just move on. You guys get the idea. But this is the really good point to make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. If you want to be active and take part in saving this country, y'all, the things that we have going forward on this channel in the next 12 months, and then after that, the next 2 years, are going to be remarkable. I'm telling you that because I see them and I'm having them built and I know what's happening. I would love for you guys to take advantage of them and just subscribe. Just be here so you can take advantage of it. Because what we are doing is something bigger than ourselves, and I know you guys are down for that mission as well, and thank you for your support thus far. All right. This one, y'all, I want more of this, and I want more of this through a funnel. Listen to what the press secretary, it's too long. I'm just going to give you some highlights. I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. So this is what the press secretary just said on the White House podium. President Trump inherited an absolute disaster from Joe Biden and the radical left and has already delivered bigger than he promised. Hold on a second. I know that's the puff part. Watch this. It's the actual part. Inflation crushed from Biden's 9% nightmare, and it's averaging 2.7. Every day, play it every day. 9% down to 2.7. Who did the inflation? Again, I'm tired of the whole, honestly, bullcrap from the left saying like, oh my gosh, the inflation's so bad from Donald Trump, it's at 2.7. Yeah, it was at 9 with y'all. Shut up. Real wages already surging, with an average worker on pace for plus $1,200 a year, erasing the $3,000 lost. Gas prices at lowest in nearly 5 years, under $3 a gallon in 37 states, under $2.50 in 5, and Biden was at $5 gas. No tax on tips, overtime, or Social Security because of Trump and Republicans. I'm telling you, you guys, when that hits on January 1, you're going to have a 2-week period, and about January 14th or 15th, you're going to have everybody start to change their mood consistently and very considerably. And then about the first week of February, the third week of February, they're going to go, man, I've got a little extra breathing room. By the time April rolls around, they're going to be like, holy crap, I have money because I'm not giving it all to the government. Disposable income, consumption's going to go up, GDP is going to go up, the revenue is going to go up, stocks are going to go up, and prices are going to come down because there's more money available. All of this is going to happen in the next 3 to 4 months. That's just simple economics. But let's continue, because this is the fun part. All right. Oh, this part's going to get a little bit spicy. I'm going to be fair with you guys, so make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and let me know what you think about this one in the comments, because we're going to talk about something that I'm seeing. And this is part of the show where I'm going to get a little bit more direct on things that I think need to be addressed. So, here's my flat-out disclaimer. This is Eric Erickson. I have no problem with Eric Erickson. He's a Republican. He's a conservative. Okay, no issue. I'm going to offer a critique for what he says in a second, but it's not out of a place of personal attack. I just don't personally agree, but I want to hear y'all's thoughts as well. So we got a few things we're going to crack open here because this is seriously like, this is a thing. All right, we're just going to go. Let's keep going. Keep it clean.
Honest with you, at the risk of offending some of my listeners, much of the political team at the White House is made up of the island of misfit toys in Republican politics. They couldn't get hired on other campaigns. They weren't that good. They were a little bit weird, and they gravitated towards Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has rewarded their loyalty and put them in charge of things. Now, there are some great people there. Susie Wiles actually very good at her job. Chris Lasaveda, very good at his job. But on the day-to-day, run-of-the-mill, you got the island of misfit toys. And the Island of Misfit Toys in the cartoon series just wanted to be loved and loved the world in return. The Island of Misfit Toys in charge of Donald Trump's campaign, they're bullies who have been exiled, who are now in power, and they are waging war on all of the people in the Republican Party. So here's where we are, less than a year before the midterms.
All right, this next section is really important, and I let this roll to give you full context. When you're talking about the overall impact of an administration or the individuals or the bullies, the misfit toys, or whatever you're thinking, if it's all about people just wanting to be loved and loved on and showered accolades on, congratulations, you just described all politicians and political operatives. Sorry, you did. Now, the other thing about this is I'm catching a lot of stuff in a lot of circles, and I would honestly classify Eric Erickson's content, because I like his content. I don't have a problem with him. I've heard him a lot. I would say it's much more traditional GOP. It is. It's much more observably George Bush, establishment, intelligentsia GOP, right? It's the old guard. And that's a really important aspect of this, because a lot of the things that he's about to say, which we're going to dive into, is it's going from his own perspective in the establishment guard of the Republican Party. It is not going from what is clearly, observably, the populist wing of the GOP, which is the Trump wing, which is the main dominant wing. Okay? All right, let's keep on going. This is really important. And guys, I love the comments, the chats, the emojis. Keep it going. This is where it gets really important, because I want to hear your thoughts.
The pro-lifers are mad at the Trump administration because the Trump administration has decided not just to allow the generic of the abortion drug, but is now saying that you don't even need to consult with a doctor in-house before you get the abortion drug. The limited government guys are furious at the Trump administration trying to extend Obamacare subsidies and attacking the state rights of states like Indiana. The old school Republicans are mad that neither the president nor J.D. Vance will distance himself from the Tucker Carlsons and the Candace Owenses of the world and really be stridently denouncing anti-Semitism within the Republican Party. The national security Republicans are upset at the president continuing to bend to Vladimir Putin and handing China the NVIDIA chips. The Hispanics in the coalition feel targeted personally by Border Patrol. Yeah, the idiots in the White House political shop are trying to shatter the entire Republican Party coalition.
This is where I genuinely disagree. And this is what I want to hear you guys' thoughts on, because we're in a new Republican Party. We're in a new conservatism. We are in a new populism. We are, objectively. And the line of thinking that he's doing through the special interest groups is something that I want to address. Because what he just addressed across the entire board, again, I have no issue with Eric Erickson. His ideas that he is espousing are older ideas and older calculus of how Republican parties work, around how the politics works, around how everything works in the underlying principles of the GOP. Because back in the day, you had all of your special little buckets, and you had all your little special interests, and you aligned all those things, and you cobbled them together, and then you had your coalition, and you're either going to win or you're going to lose, and then better luck next time, or congratulations. That was it, right? Well, when Trump came in, Trump kicked that into the curb, along with everybody else, and along with the populists, along with the rednecks, along with the pro-lifers, along with the 2A crowd, along with every special interest group. Now, I do not believe that they are in a position of what he's describing as shattering the coalition and kicking it to the curb. And you want to know why? And I need to hear you guys on this one. Right there, David Hughes says he is pushing division. We're going to get to that in 1 second. Here's what I want to nail on really hard. You have the ability to offer feedback, or you have the ability to tear something down. And the thing that I really want to highlight is don't bring a complaint without a solution, okay? And the reason I say that is if you are just viewed as a complainer, you're going to be perceived as pushing division, as someone just said in the comments over here. This is the entire point. You can have your special interest to whichever one you think is the most, right? I'm extremely proud of my ties to the 2A community. I am a 2A community. Like, that is my thing, right? But I also understand that macro level, I have to win up here so that my special interest hits down here. I'm very, very tied to the pro-life side of things as well. That's my own personal belief. But I also understand that in order to have both of those things win, that means the overarching thing has to win. And this is the big piece that I think that he's missing. The far left is guaranteed to destroy all of those special interest groups. Not even a question, 100%. If you care about pro-life, well, abortion's pretty high on the list of a Gavin Newsom, of an AOC. You care about the 2A? Well, Gavin Newsom doesn't necessarily like him, that 2A. He's just for reasonable restrictions and universal background checks and bans and magazine limits and all these things. But don't worry, he's all for freedom except his freedom, right? And you like immigration? Well, Gavin Newsom really likes to open that border up too. Here's my whole point, and this is what I'm starting to see in our space. We're getting people who, now that they think that there is blood in the water, they're starting to come out and say very uncomfortable pieces that they think would not normally be said, like this piece right here. Again, not a knock on Eric Erickson, just a knock on the underlying principle of what he's saying. He wouldn't say this if the polling was higher for Donald Trump, because obviously it would be received poorly. He thinks he can right this second, and that's fine. That's good. I don't have an issue with that. But I do want to offer a little bit of feedback. That is an old style of GOP thinking, and that is an old style of conservatism to where you cannot do the George Bush era GOP ever again. Ever. And that's what that is. Anyway, let me keep on going. Let me know what you guys think in the comments on that, because I think this is an important piece. I think we need to talk about this stuff.
Single thing this White House is doing does nothing but break up the Republican coalition and fire up the Democratic base. It is political malpractice unless the point is to get Democrats elected next year. And I will be...
Okay, and now we've crossed the point where we're going to have a little bit more direct. Okay, so now all of those things, because those special interest groups, whether it's pro-life, 2A, immigration, whatever, so all of those groups are so pissed off, and the White House is full of misfit toys and idiots and all the people that no one likes. So you're saying that they are intentionally trying to allow Democrats to win. This is the part where I start to see the mask slip a little bit on what you're saying, not the individual, what you're saying. So let's just run through this really quickly, because it's a leading voice on the GOP side. I know it is. I'm not being mean to him. I'm just objectively saying something that I noticed. If your intent is to say that the Donald Trump White House wants the Democrats to be in charge, and for the last 10 years, he spent the last 10 years and his coalition dismantling the left and the Democrats, personally persecuted, by business persecuted, financially persecuted, probably the most scrutinized man on earth, and you think that now he wants the Democrats to win the next elections. That seems a little far-fetched. And I start to question, what was the point of that entire brutal breakdown that you just did with the misfit toys and all the special interest groups being pissed, if the end of it was to accuse the White House of saying that you want the Democrats to win and you're doing it intentionally? Because here's the thing. If all of what he was saying was 100% true there, and again, I'm going to say it 800 times, I'm not knocking him, you wouldn't see housing coming down. If that was true, you wouldn't see, not that one. You wouldn't see $2,000 in tax refunds going back out. If that was the case, you wouldn't see polling that looks like this at 40 Democrat, 39 Republican. You would not see things like this on crime and immigration and economy and cost of living. You can say all the things that you want to say, and I welcome anybody to say these types of things. But it isn't backed up by statistical or by actual polling or by actual ideological backing. You can't, and I hit on this earlier, you can't go into this realm of, well, maybe if we just become more liberal, the middle will like us more. No, that's not the way that it works. Donald Trump literally just won the White House. He won the Senate. He won the House. He won the popular vote. Every single swing state. His immigration is up. His economy is up. His crime is up. And you think that the island of misfit toys is going down the wrong road? Or is this just a moment where you thought you could say it and be comfortable with it? we're seeing a lot, and actually, come on, real quick. This is the end of that little portion. We're seeing a lot in the space right now in the conservative movement, in the, I'm honestly just going to say the conspiratorial movement within the right. A lot of it is not even constitutionally based. A lot of it is all conjecture, intrigue, and conspiracy. But when you're getting into these types of things, you've got to go back to something constitutional and something solid backing. Hey, 2A people, shall not be infringed means shall not be infringed. Hey, sanctuary cities, you're breaking the freaking federal law. This is not hard. If you don't like that idea about immigration, change it through Congress. But until then, you've got to enforce it. This is the entire point, and that's the reason people are so pissed. Anyway, I don't know. I think that we have an identitarian issue going on where everyone wants to be a little bit more vulnerable to the lefties. But anyway, speaking of lefties, listen, I hope I landed that plane. I really hope I brought up some interesting points of discussion. I look forward to your comments. I see the emojis, the chats, everything is going right over here. You guys are rocking right here. All right, here we go. Speaking of lefties, I swear to you, you talk about vote repellent. The lefties manufacture vote repellent. Oh my God, en masse. I wouldn't be surprised if they had it in a foreign country and they imported it. Because this woman on the left, her name's Jennifer Welch, and I'm not even going to pretend to be nice to her. She is a very vitriolic, angry, bitter, wine box mom person. That is her vibe. She is the quintessential Democrat electorate. Okay? She's about to go down one of her profanity-laden rants about billionaires and how they're you know what? I'm just going to let it go, and then we're going to have some fun with it. Because this is the left right here. I mean, like, honest to God, watch this.
Republican Party has done such a good job propagandizing that if you need anything from the government, you're a lazy piece of shit. Yep. And you're a moocher, when really the parasites and the parasitic people in the country are the billionaires. Republican Party.
So the Republican Party has done such a good job propagandizing people about billionaires when they're the real parasites. I don't even know where to begin on that. Other than just the vitriolic rhetoric of which you were just espousing hatred, anger, and leftist ideological bullet points while you're, downing cardboard box wine. But genuinely, how many people do you think billionaires or millionaires employ? I know, trickle-down economics doesn't work. I'm a big capitalist pig. Okay, fine, whatever, guilty. But if I'm hiring people to further and make more money, and they're making more money, and I'm hiring more people, and I'm generating more revenue to actually circulate in the economy, I'm not sure that's parasitic. I'm pretty sure that's stimulative. Because those people wouldn't have jobs if people didn't have businesses and didn't start businesses and didn't operate businesses. It's very short-term stupidity. In fact, it's much more along the lines of socialist command and control, centralized power, because all they want to do is control. They want to take from people that they're jealous of, and they want to give to people to satisfy their virtue signal. I will light this up all day. It's very, very easy. I've seen it my whole life. But how exactly are billionaires parasites? I don't know. Call me crazy. But this is what the left is. This is what they're going to run on, because I guarantee you, once this happens and it continues to happen and more money comes in and you start seeing polling slipping, they are going to go hard class warfare, because that's all they'll have left. Anyway, I talked about Eric. I talked about Box Wine Mom. Oh, look at it. Guys, listen. You know what? I love you guys so much that I saved the very best cherry on top. Just like Senator John Kennedy said, we're going to put a cherry on top. In fact, one of these tabs might actually be that McRib coupon that we were talking about. Because the thing that I love more than anything is this Jasmine Crockett race. Because, oh my God, from the very beginning where the Republican Senate Committee called all of her high-propensity voters and told them to get her in the race, and then she got in the race, and now the Democrats are freaking out because the progressives are going after it. My post earlier speaks to it. Directly into my veins. What am I talking about? Simply this. 2026 Texas Senate Democratic primary, Jasmine Crockett is now the front runner. Oh my God, who could have seen that coming? The far left activist progressive in Texas? No, stop it. Who in the world would have thought that she'd be beating the shoo-in who dropped in the race like a bomb? Man, the other guy already bounced. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. Oh man, how about the next one? How about that McRib coupon? Here we go. Tara Palmieri. This is you know what? I don't want to say she's a leftist account, but I do want to say she leans left. Listen to what she says about Jasmine Crockett, about being the white whale. That's Moby Dick for those uneducated amongst you. But I don't have any of those. You guys are all intelligent. All right, check this out, Tara. Take it away. Let's get it.
Is a bit of a white whale for Democrats. They'll sink $100 million in a Senate race every single cycle into Texas. Colin Allred, Beto O'Rourke, so many of them, and yet they haven't won statewide in 30 years. But Jasmine Crockett, the congresswoman, very outspoken. She's got,
Man, is that underselling it? Very outspoken. Woo! Okay.
She's got a flair to her, but her entry into the race for some reason has really kicked up, some consternation within the party. And I'm just wondering, why is this election different, or is this just like another expensive mirage?
Another expensive mirage. That is like the subtext of the Democratic Party. I usually call it like the industrial complex, the political industrial complex, where, you'll raise $2 billion just to hand out to consultants.
Is a bit of a
Okay. Should we unpack that last part? You know what? I'll probably do that later on. That's probably not worth it right now. But it's not wrong, though. It is kind of like a big slush fund for an industrial political complex where everyone loses even though they still get money. Hey, by the way, you guys know who's involved in running Jasmine Crockett's campaign? Yeah, yep. Only like the most illustrious losers in the Democrat Party to date. Oh my goodness gracious. Beto O'Rourke is involved. Wait for it. Stacey Abrams. Collectively, they are 5-time defeated champs. They know how to lose an election and collect money the whole way down. Listen, she's got a very important point. Is this just another Democratic mirage? They'll spend $100 million in the Texas Senate primary, of which they have no chance. It's a really good question. But it begs the other part, that consternation that she's talking about. They know that Jasmine Crockett is not going to win this race. Everyone knows it. Even Jasmine knows it. In fact, she's probably going to be the failed candidate, and she's probably going to start another vote committee about getting out the vote and do the Texas version of Stacey Abrams and get $2 billion from the Biden administration and only spend like $100 million of it. Fine, cool, great. Pull a Beto. But honest to God, when they spend the $100 million in Texas on a no-name race that has no chance and no prayer, they can't spend it in places like Maine, and they can't spend it in places like Ohio, and they can't spend it in places like North Carolina because they're bankrupt. They don't have any money. I already showed you they've taken out $15 million loans just to float their payroll. Literally, guys, everything that they are doing to you is based in a tremendous, total, propagandistic, weaponized lie. And you can see all of it through everything that I'm showing you in this video. I spend a lot of time working and a lot of time formulating these videos because all of this information is never accrued anywhere else, and you need all of it. Because when you see all of it like this, you genuinely get a complete picture of what's actually going on, not what the myopic version of what someone's trying to sell you. And this is actively through all data and all receipts and everything in the description box, what you're looking at on the floor. I try my very best to make sure that it is good. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you're loving it. I hope it is shareable. I hope all the clips are going out everywhere. I love each and every one of you just the right amount. I hope that this is making a difference for you guys. And I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.